Hello and welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. In the previous session, we did article as pronoun. If you remember, we did article as pronoun where we mentioned the definite article and the indefinite article and the usage as pronouns. In today's session, we are going to do the pronoun which are as articles but the negation. You are already familiar with the negation forms in nominative and accusative. If you remember, the negation in articles, especially with the indefinite article, works with the letter ka or k. So, you know that when we add the indefinite article with a ka, it becomes a negation. However, in this case, the negation forms work in a different manner. If you see here for the masculine, the negation article, negative article as we call it, becomes from nominative keiner to keinen, keiner remains keiner, keins remains keins, and in the plural keiner remains keiner. If you remember, when we did the indefinite article as pronoun, we used einer, which becomes einen, and as you know, for negation we need to add k or ka, which here is added, which then becomes keiner to keinen. So, here the rule is almost similar like the previous negation concepts, only here the ending is somewhat different. As you can see, it is ar, which becomes an, and s in neutral remains s in accusative, which is the same form as in nominative. Now, let us look at some examples where the negative article functions as pronoun. Now, let us look at this sentence. Hast du Bilder? Bilder, which is the plural form of the noun Bild, which means pictures. Now, here the answer for this question is Nein, ich habe keine. As you know, the keine in plural here is the pronoun which is derived from the noun in plural Bilder. Now, let us look at this sentence. Haben Sie einen Computer? The answer for this question is Nein, ich habe keinen. As you can see here, the negative article keinen has been used to replace the indefinite article einen in accusative along with the noun computer, and as you know, computer belongs to the masculine gender category, which is marked here by M. Here, kauft ein Auto? Now look at the answer. Nein, kauft keins. As you know, here also the negative article is used as a pronoun which is in accusative because of the presence of the nominative pronoun here. It's the same way for the sentence number 2 and sentence number 1 also we have ich and ich as nominative pronoun. Now, let us look at this sentence. Spricht sie eine Fremdsprache? Here, the noun Fremdsprache along with its indefinite article eine has been replaced by keine without any noun. And as you can see, here the noun Fremdsprache is denoted by F, which means that the noun belongs to the feminine gender category, and also you know that nouns which usually end with E or A are feminine in nature. Now, let us do some exercises and then we can see if we can learn the negative article as pronoun really well or not. Now, let us do some exercises where our students would write the answers and then we would see if the answers are right or wrong. Here in this exercise, the students are supposed to write the negative article as pronoun as well as also identify whether the noun is in singular or in plural and write the correct article. Now, let us look at the answers given by our students. Our first student wrote the answers to this question where she wrote if the noun is in singular or in plural and what is a correct article. Now, let us look at the answers. Wo ist hier eine Apotheke? Apotheke means a pharmacy. Here, our student correctly identified this noun as a feminine noun and wrote the letter F, which you know shows that the noun belongs to the feminine gender category. Our other student wrote the correct pronoun for this question, which is keine. Therefore, this answer is correct. Now, let us look at question number 2. Fährt sie ein Auto? Here also the student wrote the correct article marker, which is N, because it is das Auto, and our other student wrote the correct pronoun for this sentence, which is keins. Seht ihr einen Film? Here also the student wrote the correct article marker, which is masculine, and our other student wrote the correct pronoun for this sentence, which is keinen. Kauft ihr Bücher? Here our student wrote the correct answer for this, which is plural, because Bücher means books in plural, and our other student wrote the correct pronoun for this sentence, which is keine. So, as you can see, both our students did a very good job by writing both the answers in the correct manner. Like them, you too can learn the articles or pronouns very easily if you follow the sessions carefully and do the exercises as we do it on a daily basis. Now, in this session, we are going to expand the concept of negation onto the sentence. Till now, you learnt negation with articles. Now, we are going to learn another concept of negation, and this is used in 3 contexts: ja, nein, doch. Now, ja in German means yes, nein in German means no, and doch is a formulation which is very difficult to find in English language. In many languages, including English, we have yes or no. However, in German, we have, apart from ja, which means yes, nein, which no, we have something called a doch. And doch is it a positive answer to a negative question or a statement. Now, let us look at some examples. Here we have a question: Hast du Kinder? Kinder, as you know, is a plural form of child, which means do you have children? And the answer for this is ja, which means yes, I have 2 children. So, here for this question an answer is generated which begins with a yes. Now, let us look at this question: Hat kein Auto? Doesn't he have a car? And the answer for this question is no, he hasn't got a car. And you know, with nein we say no, and with keins or kein Auto, here we are using these words as negation. Here keins is the pronoun which you learnt, and kein Auto is a combination of the indefinite article as negation plus the noun. Now, let us look at this sentence: Wohnt sie nicht in Hyderabad? Doesn't she stay in Hyderabad? And the answer here is doch sie wohnt in Hyderabad. Here doch is a positive answer for a negative question or a negative statement. The use of nein or ja or doch depends on the context as well as on the mutual knowledge of the speakers for the given context. Therefore, while using doch, ja or nein, the speakers should be aware of the context and about the matter with which they are confronted with. Now we are going to do another important aspect in the German language, and that is, as you can see, Satzstruktur und Verbposition, which means sentence structure and verb position. Now let us look at some sentences here. You are already familiar with these sentences and the structure of these sentences. Now let us read these sentences. Ich höre Musik. Einen Computer kaufe ich. Ram, Ali und Asha lernen Deutsch. Er hört ein Lied und macht die Arbeit. Sie gibt Geld, kauft eine Zeitung und liest die Zeitung. As you can see, I have marked here all the verbs with a black pen. So we have the verb here höre, which comes from the infinitive verb hören. We have the verb here kaufe, which comes from the infinitive verb kaufen. We have the verb here lernen, which comes from the infinitive verb lernen. Hört, which comes from hören again. Macht, which comes from machen. Gibt comes from geben. Kauft comes from the infinitive verb kaufen. And liest comes from the infinitive verb lesen. You already know that these verbs here are conjugated according to the pronouns or according to the nouns. Well, there are other important aspects in these sentences. This cluster of sentences or these kind of sentences in German are called der Aussagesatz, which means they are statements. They are not questions, they are statements. Now, if you look at this sentence, here we have the pronoun ich at the first position, the position of the verb is at the second, and we have the noun Musik here, which is at the third position. Now, let us look at this sentence. Here we have an indefinite article, einen, we have the noun, we have a verb, and we have the pronoun, which is the subject. Now, can you tell me the position of the verb here? Here it is second, here you might think it is third. Now, let us look at the position of the verb in this sentence. Here it is after 4 words, out of which Ram, Ali and Asha are the nouns and und is the connector. So, here after 4 words we have the verb. Now look at this. Now let us look at this sentence. Hört ein Lied. Here the verb is again at the second position. Again there is a connector und, which means and then we have the verb here along with the noun die Arbeit, which is in accusative. Now let us look at this sentence. Sie gibt Geld, where the verb gibt is at the second position. Then we have another verb kauft, which is here so called at the fourth position, and then again we have another verb lesen, which is liest here in the seventh position. So, you might be wondering that in German all the verbs keep changing the position from second to third, again to second again to fourth and to seventh. Well, that is not the case. In German, all the sentences are at the position number 2. In a German sentence, the verb always remains at the second position. It is one of the most important rules of the German sentence structure. The verb never ever changes its position in a statement. It remains in these statements always at position number 2. However, in German language we have the option of changing the place of the nouns or the pronouns in nominative or in accusative according to our wish. Therefore, if we have a sentence here which is Ich höre Musik, where the sentence begins with the subject and here we have the object Musik, and if you look at this sentence, einen, as you know, is the accusative. So, the sentence begins here with a direct object accusative, we have the verb and then the subject. If you look at this sentence Ram, Ali und Asha, if you see the verb here also plays a very important role. Here the verb lernen is conjugated because here we have three nouns. So, nouns when they are in plural, they conjugate the verb according to the respective ending. Here we have singular pronouns hört ein Lied und macht die Arbeit. As you can see here the verb is at the second position and also the following verb is conjugated according to the subject here. The same way this sentence Sie gibt Geld, kauft eine Zeitung und liest die Zeitung is a long sentence where three verbs gibt, kauft und liest are conjugated according to the subject Sie, which is at the first position. For all the long sentences which are written here, there is always an option of changing the position of the other words here in the sentence except the position of the verb which remains at the second position. So, please remember while learning German that in a German sentence the position of the verb is always second, as you can see from these different examples. Please remember that you cannot change the position of the verb. You may change the position of the pronoun or the noun or the other elements, but there are also certain rules regarding that, to which we would go later. Now, let us look at another important aspect of the sentence structure and verb position in German language. We learned that the verb is in the second position in a statement in German. Now, let us look at the position of the verbs in the question. In German, we have a concept called the Fragesatz, which basically means questions. In German, questions can be formulated in two fundamental ways. There are two categories. The first category is called the W-Frage. W, as you know, is W. Frage means question. And how do we say that it is a W-Frage question? Now, look at these questions which you are already familiar with. Wie heißen Sie? Woher kommen Sie? Wo wohnen Sie? Wie alt sind Sie? If you remember these questions from the previous sessions, you will see that all these questions begin with the letter W. Therefore, they are called W questions. It is quite simple. Now, let us look at the position of the verbs here. As you can see, here the position of the verb is second, here also second, here also second, and you might think the position of the verb is third here. However, it is not the case. Like in the statements case also, here in W questions the position of the verb always remain at the second place. Therefore, all the verbs, as you can see here, heißen, kommen, wohnen and sind, and as you know, all these verbs are conjugated according to the pronoun. They are always at the second position in the W question, and a W question can be easily identified because it begins with the letter W. Now, let us look at the other category of the question, which is called the Ja-Nein-Frage. Ja means yes, Nein means no. Now, let us look at these questions. Hast du Kinder? You know the meaning of this question. Do you have children? And the answer is Ja. Fährst du ein Auto? Do you drive a car? The answer is Nein, which means no. Schläft er im Büro? Does he sleep in office? Yeah. Now, as you can see, these questions generate either the answer yeah, which means yes, or nein. And look at the position of the verb here. The verb, as you can see, is marked with black pen, and here it is at the first position, and it is conjugated according to the pronoun which is here. So, here we have the pronoun do, here also the pronoun do, and here we have the pronoun er, and the respective verbs are conjugated according to them. So, if you can derive the rule, we can say that all the W questions, the position of the verb is always to, and for all the yes or no questions or ja nein Frage, the position of the verb is always first. So, remember that the position of the verb is first only in a ja nein Frage or in yes or no question, and the position of the verb is always second at the W question as well as in the sentences. Now, let us do some exercises. In these exercises, all the words are jumbled up. The student would come and write each words in the correct sentence order and make a correct sentence out of it. And the student is supposed to make either a statement or a question out of these jumbled up words. So, let us see if the student gives the right answer or not. Now, let us look at the answers given by the student. Here we have three words, du, wohnen, wo, with a question mark. As you know, here wo is a W question because it starts with W. We have the verb wohnen and we have the pronoun du here. And as you know, the verb is always conjugated according to the noun or to the pronoun. So, the student has written the correct answer by placing the W question at the beginning, the verb at the second position, which is conjugated, and also the pronoun or the subject with that, and at the end a question mark. Now, let us look at this sentence, haben ich ein Auto. These are the words which are jumbled up here. Here, the student has given the correct answer. The student has conjugated the verb haben to habe, and also put the pronoun ich at the beginning. The verb is at the second position because you know the verb is always at the second position in the statement. Ein Auto, with these words are in accusative. Also, our student gave another format to the same statement where the student wrote the object at the beginning of the sentence, the verb is at the second position, and then comes the subject. So, these two statements are correct. Now, let us look at this sentence, eine Zeitung kaufen. As you can see, there is a question mark at the end which shows that it is a question. So, the student formulated, the student has almost given the right answer. However, there are small mistakes here which are not a problem at all. Now, let us first see the first mistake. Here, the student wrote the word Z or the letter HZ, which should be in capital, because you know the nouns are always in capital. And can you spot another mistake here? The student didn't put the question mark. As you know, question mark show that the given statement is a question. Now we have the complete answer. Kauf der eine Zeitung. Now, as you can see, the verb is at the first position and it is formulated as a question. So here it is a yes or no question. So as you can see, the first one is a W question, the second one is a statement, and the third one is a yes or no question, and each of them have their respective verb positions. So in today's session, we learned how negative articles can be used as pronouns. We saw how negative articles are used as pronouns in nominative and accusative, and we did exercises based on that. And then in the next segment, we learned what is a verb position in a German sentence. We learned that the verb position in a German statement is at the second position, irrespective of the position of the other elements in the sentence. We also learned that there are two types of questions in German. One is a W question, where the position of the verb is second, and the other is yes or no question, where the position of the verb is first. And then we did certain examples where the students wrote the correct answers. Now, please revise what we did today, and please revise your nouns, your verb conjugations, and as the plural forms of the nouns as well as the articles. And till we meet next time, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss.